evening. We are back with the current affairs series, the lectures we are doing on current affairs for prelims 2021. We are going to deal with this pre-pack insolvency that has been released. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India has released the guidelines regarding the pre-pack insolvency. Now, what is pre-pack insolvency? It is an agreement between the secured creditors of a company and the potential investors of the bankrupt company. The agreement will be agreed upon by the both secured creditors and the investors prior to the case going to National Company of Law Tribunal, after which the resolution of the stressed assets of the company will be done on the basis of So what is pre-pack insolvency? Pre-pack insolvency का meaning है कि there is a pre-agreement between investors and what the secured creditors. इन दोनों के बीच में एक pre-investment agreement establish हो जाएगा. That will reduce the role of insolvency resolution professionals and the NCLT itself. The process of pre-pack insolvency seeks to expedite the whole process of insolvency and fasten the resolution of the assets. The main aim of the pre-pack insolvency is bypassing the role of insolvency resolution professionals and thus limiting the cost and the time frame of the insolvency. Okay, this has been done through an ordinance route. The government has passed an ordinance for the same, and now Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India has issued the guidelines of how this pre-pack insolvency is going to take place. Now we are going to deal with the issue in detail. Okay. So the center has used the ordinance route. First of all, on the 5th of April, the central government issued an ordinance regarding the pre-pack insolvency by amending the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of India, that is IBC Code 2016. Understood? So this will help. What is the main aim of this pre-pack insolvency? Pre-pack insolvency, in the sense it implies that the whole process of insolvency under sorry the whole process of insolvency as prescribed under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 included insolvency resolution professionals, NCLT, committee of creditors, due to which the time frame and the cost of the insolvency involved was very high. Now, to reduce the time frame and the cost of the insolvency, government has brought about a pre-pack insolvency. But the matter of fact is, this is only applicable to MSMEs. For the time being, it has been made only applicable to the micro, small and medium enterprises. There are some flaws that we'll be studying as to what kind of company will be able to avail the facilities under this pre-pack insolvency, and why the effect of this pre-pack insolvency might be limited to a very small number of companies. It is based on the recommendation of MS Sahu committee. It was a subcommittee under RBI. The committee was headed by Mr. MS Sahu. Okay, it was a subcommittee of RBI. Now, what was the process? What was the process of insolvency under the? What was the process of insolvency resolution under the IBC code? IBC code के आने से पहले RBI mandated a different kind of insolvency resolution. Okay. RBI mandated a different kind of insolvency resolution. But the problem with this resolution was, this did not have a legal backing. Okay, this did not have a legal backing, and it was based on the fact that there will exist a consensus between the creditors and the debtors. अब creditor कौन होते हैं? Creditor मतलब the people who have given loan to some entity, some corporate entity for example. Debtors कौन होते हैं? Companies जिन्होंने loan लिया है. As you might be aware with the twin balance sheet problem, twin balance sheet problem का roots कहीं ना कहीं RBI की इस डायरेक्शन में लाई करते हैं. We'll see how. RBI. Now what is actually the whole process of insolvency? ठीक है, what is insolvency? We'll try to understand. When a company makes default on the interest payment or the payment obligations that the company owes to the banks or the other creditors, then that companies seem to have is called to, yeah, understood to have gone into the insolvency, or then that company is considered to be an insolvent company. For example, there are creditors. Creditors are basically banks, banking institutions, non-banking financial corporations, and all these are creditors. They provide credit, okay? And these are companies, yeah, corporations, okay? These are debtors. These are the people who have taken money from creditors and now they are under the obligation to pay that money back. Not only are they under obligation to pay the money back or the principal amount, but also they are under obligation to pay some regular interest upon the said money. Understood? Now, if this corporation fails to pay back its interest obligations or the principal obligation, then the company is said to have become insolvent. Okay. But the existing laws in India were very hard for the exit of the companies. Exit in the sense, if this company wants to declare bankruptcy, now what is insolvency? And the second one is bankruptcy. Okay. These are two very important terms. They have a very slight difference, the difference of definition, but they are more or less the same. They are even used interchangeably, but the meaning of both is more or less the same. Insolvency is a state of being bankrupt. Okay, whereas when a company declares bankruptcy, when the company has declared bankruptcy, it means there exists a legal identification of the status of being insolvent. Understood? Insolvent, for example, if I am a corporate, I am saying that I am insolvent. That means I am not able to pay my debt obligations back. But when I file for bankruptcy, okay, then it becomes a legal identification of my insolvent status. That is the difference between bankruptcy and insolvency. Okay, bankruptcy will be decided by the institutions like RBI or the government or whatever institution that decides upon the corporate bankruptcy. Okay, and insolvency will be decided upon the status of my balance sheets. Okay, I hope this is understood. Now, what was the problem in India was the problem of exit. Exit problem, that is the economic survey of 2016, eco survey, okay, of 2016 talks about this exit problem. Exit problem means companies are getting bankrupt, but due to legal hurdles, okay, and due to multiple level of litigation channels, they are not being able to exit their bankruptcy. Exit their bankruptcy in the two senses. First of all, resolution of bankruptcy. Okay, there are two kind of exits: resolution, and the second one is closure. Okay, resolution का meaning है कि if a company, for example, has gone bankrupt and some people take over the company, some other people take over the company, and then they pay the debts of the company and restructure it so that the company stands upon its own foot. That is called resolution of insolvency. The second one is closure. The closure means when a company has gone bankrupt and no one is willing to take it. Okay, in that case, the company's asset will be sold and the earnings will be used to pay the debt or the financial obligations of the company. That is closure, and the first one is resolution. So these are the two kind of bankruptcy exit problems. But India में एक तो बहुत सारे laws थे जो कि which restricted the closure or resolution of the company or the multiple level of litigations. कि फॉर एग्जांपल NCLT देयर वाज NCLAT सॉरी, डेट रिकवरी ट्रिब्यूनल अंडर सरफासी एक्ट, उसके बाद हाई कोर्ट्स, सुप्रीम कोर्ट्स, आर्बिट्रेशन अलग से था। तो बहुत सारे लॉज होने की वजह से और बहुत सारे चैनल्स ऑफ लिटिगेशन या प्लेटफॉर्म्स ऑफ या लेवल्स ऑफ लिटिगेशन होने की वजह से देयर वाज अ एग्जिट प्रॉब्लम इन द इंडियन इकोनॉमी। To address this, government brought what? First of all, we'll talk about the RBI's existing platform of resolution of insolvency. RBI का स्टेटमेंट बहुत सिंपल था। जो क्रेडिटर्स हैं, ओके, क्रेडिटर्स and debtors, they will make an out of court settlement, okay, they will make an out of court settlement about the resolution of the company, okay, company will be the debtor, okay, but the resolution will be out of court, that the creditors will not drag the debtors or the company into the court litigation, rather they will find an amicable solution so that most of the cost of the creditor can be what, the cost of the creditor can be, most of the cost can be recovered, okay, most of the debt can be recovered. Since a company has gone bankrupt, all the cost or all the debt cannot be recovered. That is the fundamental assumption of the resolution process. But what an attempt is, the attempt is to recover the most of the liabilities of the company, ठीक है. But यहाँ पे there was a catch. The catch was RBI allowed the banks, okay, RBI allowed the banks to exempt the credit debtors, sorry, or the company, okay, company. RBI ने creditors को allow किया to exempt the company which has gone bankrupt from showing that company into NPA. That is, if this company has gone bankrupt, okay, and for example the creditors are PNB and SBI, इन दो बैंक्स का लोन ये कंपनी लेके बैंकरप्ट हो गई, अंडरस्टूड. नाउ व्हाट आरबीआई सेड वाज कि आप लोग आपस में इसको सॉर्ट आउट कर लो, बट टिल द प्रोसेस ऑफ रिजोल्यूशन इज ऑन, द बैंक्स, द पीएनबी एंड एसबीआई should not show this company as ABC. For example, the name of the company is ABC, which has gone bankrupt. You should not show this company as what? Non-performing assets on your bank sheets, balance sheets. Iska RBI perceived the benefit that during the process of the resolution of the assets, if PNB and SBI are not showing this company ABC as an NPA, then what will happen? The company's financial prospects will be better. That is, more fresh funds and fresh kind of investment could be brought into the company that might help actually resolve the company's stressed assets. Okay. बट इसका बेनिफिट या लॉस क्या हुआ कि अब अगर बैंक्स इन कंपनीज को एनपीए में शो करते तो बैंक्स की अपनी बैलेंस शीट स्ट्रेस्ड हो सकती थी. टू काउंटर दैट, व्हाट these banks did was they did not show these companies under NPA and kept on extending the process of resolution, because the larger the time taken for resolution, the larger the time PNB and SBI can borrow to not show this company into their own balance sheet as non-performing assets, and thereby avoiding a stress of their own balance sheet. Okay, now people might be aware with the twin balance sheet problem. Twin balance sheet problem कोई rocket science नहीं है. Twin balance sheet में ये था कि companies twin balance sheet के साथ एक और problem associated थी, evergreening. Okay, evergreening of loans. The one I'm talking about is this. Evergreening of loans was done by the creditors by not showing these companies as NPA अंडर द आरबीआई गाइडलाइंस. इन गाइडलाइंस का मिस यूज करके इन बैंक्स ने कभी भी इन कंपनीज को एनपीए शो ही नहीं किया बहुत लंबे टाइम तक. ओके, and they kept lending these companies because these companies were not shown as NPA. तो other banks also, for example HDFC, अब HDFC को पता है कि ये कंपनी NPA है ही नहीं, तो this bank kept loaning to the company, and these banks also kept loaning to the company, so that a perception can be made about the company that the company is not a NPA. Understood? And at the same time, they are not even showing this company as an NPA. And to avoid showing it as NPA in their own balance sheet, SBI, PNB and all such banks जिनका balance sheet stressed हो गया था twin balance sheet problem में, they kept on extending the process of resolution so that they can avoid showing these companies as NPA in their own balance sheets. That was the RBI's guideline. 2000-2001 के around ये guidelines आई थी, and banks have used these, the creditors have used this guideline, misused I would rather say, a lot. ठीक है, जिसकी वजह से evergreening of loans होता चला गया. That is, इन companies का जो NPA status था कभी reveal ही नहीं हो पाया. उसके बाद 2015, around 2015 में asset quality review was conducted by RBI. Asset quality review. Asset quality review is, what is asset quality review? The review of the balance sheets of the banks. Okay. Then this problem of twin balance sheet came out into the open, and then IBC was enacted. Okay. So this was RBI's guideline, evergreening of loans, balance sheet issues. Now, what was IBC problem? IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code के अंदर procedure बहुत simple था, at least on paper. But IBC has been relatively very much stable and successful in terms of resolution of assets. Although any law that is in the domain of finance, it is not a stagnant law. Okay, it is constantly evolving because there are many loopholes, many new kinds of strategies are being used by companies, corporates. ठीक है, तो उनको काउंटर करने के लिए the government will always have to come up with the new laws. ठीक है, तो IBC has been a similar kind of law. IBC 2016, if I would rather say IBC 2016. अब इसके अंदर में क्या था कि for example a company has gone insolvent. Company becomes insolvent. Okay. पहला प्रोसेस था कि कंपनी इंसॉल्वेंट हो जाए, कंपनी इज नॉट एबल टू पे इट्स डेट ऑब्लिगेशंस. उसके बाद क्या होगा? इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल प्रोसेस. नाउ सेकंड स्टेप विल बी फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स, ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर्स और द डिफॉल्टर इटसेल्फ. ठीक है, फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स वो होते हैं जिनसे हम लोन लेते हैं. अंडरस्टूड. ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर्स वो होते हैं जिनसे हम गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज लेते हैं इन द ल्यू ऑफ सम पेमेंट. ठीक है. डिफॉल्टर द कंपनी इटसेल्फ. 2019-20 में गवर्नमेंट इंक्लूडेड होम बायर्स, ओके, होम बायर्स एज फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स, क्योंकि बहुत सारी कंस्ट्रक्शन कंपनीज वर डिफॉल्टिंग ऑन देयर लोन्स. दे वर नॉट कंप्लीटिंग देयर the promised possessions of the flats and homes to the home buyers. उनसे पैसे ले लेती थी कंपनियां और टाइम पे बना के नहीं देती थी. They use those funds into investing in some other project. तो अब वहां पे फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स में इंक्लूड कर लिया होम बायर्स को भी. फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स, ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर्स एंड डिफॉल्टर्स. ठीक है, तो फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स कौन होते हैं? इसमें हम अगर एग्जांपल देखें तो बैंक्स, जिनसे ये कंपनी लोन लेके बैठी है. बैंक्स हो सकता है, एनबीएफसीज हो सकती हैं, ठीक है, पब्लिक भी हो सकती है लाइक होम बायर्स. ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर्स जिनसे ये कंपनी गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज प्रोक्योर करती है. अंडरस्टूड. फॉर एग्जांपल दिस कंपनी इज अ कार मेकिंग कंपनी एंड दिस कंपनी एक्वायर्स टायर्स फ्रॉम डनलप, है ना, और अदर बहुत सारी चीजें ये दूसरी कंपनियों से लेती है. अब इन कंपनीज ने इनको गुड्स दे दिए हैं एंड द पेमेंट इज पेंडिंग. दैट इज आल्सो काइंड ऑफ डिफॉल्ट. तो ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर्स, फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स एंड डिफॉल्टर्स, ये तीन लोग एनसीएलटी को अप्रोच कर सकते थे. नेशनल कंपनी लॉ ट्रिब्यूनल एनसीएलटी को अप्रोच कर सकते थे. नाउ एनसीएलटी, दे विल अप्रोच एनसीएलटी with a proposal to resolve the stressed asset of the company. Now NCLT will examine and establish the existence of insolvency. NCLT will try to establish the existence of insolvency, whether the company is actually insolvent or not, by the assessment of the balance sheet and all the its obligations and all the its earnings. ठीक है? If the NCLT assesses and makes an assessment that the company is not bankrupt या insolvent, then the process ends here. The company has to pay its debt back. If the NCLT makes an assessment that yes, the company has gone insolvent, okay, for example, the company has gone insolvent, then what will NCLT do? NCLT is National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT, okay. It was formed under Companies Act 2013 and established in 2015, okay. NCLT was not formed under IBC code. Very important. It's a very important thing to note that NCLT was not formed under IBC code. It was formed under Companies Act 2013. If NCLT makes an assessment that yes, the company has gone bankrupt, then what will NCLT do? NCLT will appoint an interim resolution professional. This is not insolvency resolution professional. This is interim resolution professional, okay, to take over the board of the company. To take over, ठीक है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है. IRP will take over the board of the directors. Board of the directors will be suspended and IRP will take over the board of the directors. Now IRP will, now there will be a company of COC. This is called Committee of Creditors. Committee of Creditors, जहाँ पे फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स होते थे, ओके, ऑपरेशनल क्रेडिटर्स नहीं होते थे. अगर होते भी हैं तो उनकी वोटिंग पावर्स बहुत लो है, ठीक है. नाउ कंपनी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स, अंडरस्टूड. These now IRP will take over the board of the company, board of directors, for example. मतलब इस कंपनी के बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स सस्पेंड हो जाएंगे. Interim resolution professional will take over the board of the directors of the company, okay. अब IRP जो है interim resolution professional, he will appoint a committee of creditors. Committee of creditors मतलब एक कमेटी बनेगी जिसमें इस कंपनी को जिन्होंने लोन दिया है, फाइनेंशियल लोन्स, उन सारे लोगों को इकट्ठा करके, दिस कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स विल नाउ प्रपोज रिजोल्यूशन प्लान टू IRP. रिजोल्यूशन प्लान किसको भेजेगा? ये कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स रिजोल्यूशन प्लान भेजेगा IRP को. अगर IRP उस रिजोल्यूशन प्लान को एक्सेप्ट कर लेता है, ठीक है, तो दिस ओके, but this any resolution plan that is sent to IRP should be verified or should be certified by 66% of the voting. कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स में जितने मेंबर्स हैं उसमें 66% ऑफ द लोग होने चाहिए जो कि इस रिजोल्यूशन प्लान को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, तभी ये प्लान वैलिड माना जाएगा, ओके. 2/3 of the people, okay. When the 2/3 of the people have assented to the resolution plan and IRP accepts the proposal, then this is sent to NCLT again. NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. Now NCLT will approve this plan within 180 days. There is a limit to approve the plan or disapprove the plan. NCLT will approve the plan within 180 days and the resolution will take place according to the plan that has been submitted by Committee of Creditors. अब इस प्लान में क्या हो सकता है? Either selling of the assets, either take over of the assets by some other professionals, either merger of the company with some other company, depending upon the kind of the resolution that Committee of Creditors chooses. Understood? Now this is the whole flowchart or the process of resolution under IBC Code 2016. I stress that please note this, and this is very important. IBC 2016 has been very important and there is a high chance that there are going to be at least one question in the prelims this year. Mains में तो definitely आना ही आना है. Now, what were the problem with what were the problems with IBC code? The first one is 270 days का limit time limit. Okay, 270 days का time limit. It was a very progressive time limit, बहुत अच्छा time limit था, but it has not been followed. It has not been followed. The average time limit, the average time taken for resolution of under IBC is more than 1.5 years. Okay. The second main problem was takeover of the company okay, by IRP. Insolvency resolution professional took over the company, जिसकी वजह से कंपनी का बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स got suspended. This was a major drawback in the sense कि the board of directors when got suspended, the future of the company became very very uncertain. Okay. So the third problem was time taken for appointment, time and money, because this insolvency resolution professional of course charged some money. Okay, तो it was very high. तो अब इन तीनों प्रॉब्लम्स को एड्रेस करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट ब्रॉट दिस प्री पैक इंसॉल्वेंसी. इसमें क्या है, सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स एंड पोटेंशियल बायर्स और इन्वेस्टर्स के बीच में एक प्री पैक अग्रीमेंट होगा. उस अग्रीमेंट में सी दिस इज अ प्री पैक अग्रीमेंट. ओके, प्री पैक अग्रीमेंट होगा जिसमें potential buyers, for example a company ABC has gone bankrupt, but a company XYZ, okay, XYZ, this wants to take over the company. Okay, now एक secret agreement हो जाएगा XYZ और ABC कंपनी के जो कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स हैं. कमिटी ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स में भी कौन से क्रेडिटर्स, जो सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स हैं. सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स मेनली कौन से होते हैं, जो बैंक्स होते हैं. सिक्योर्ड और अनसिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर का डिफरेंस क्या है. सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स वो क्रेडिटर्स होंगे जो कि आपको लोन देंगे लेकिन आपसे कुछ कोलेटरल लेंगे. अनसिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स वो क्रेडिटर्स होते हैं जो आपको लोन देंगे बिना किसी कोलेटरल के. ठीक है, तो कोई बैंक आपको बिना किसी कोलेटरल के लोन रेयरली ही देगा. ओके, तो बैंक्स मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम बैंक्स होते हैं, बट कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर में लोन जो होते हैं बिना कोलेटरल के भी मिलते हैं, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोन्स होते हैं, बहुत हाई लोन्स होते हैं. क्योंकि अगर बैंक लोन नहीं देगा तो द कंपनी विल गो टू the financial and money markets to raise the loans. Okay, so secured creditors, only secured creditors and the potential buyers of the company, इन दोनों के बीच में एक agreement हो जाएगा, and that agreement will be sent to NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. If the National Company Law Tribunal verifies the agreement, the resolution will take place according to the plan that has been submitted by the agreement that has taken place between ABC and XYZ. This is all about pre-pack insolvency. Okay, यहां पे क्या है कि फाइनेंशियल क्रेडिटर्स या सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स जो होंगे, सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स का 75% वोट होना चाहिए उस अग्रीमेंट में जो कि क्रेडिटर्स और डेटर्स के बीच में, क्रेडिटर्स और पोटेंशियल डेटर्स और पोटेंशियल बायर्स के बीच में हो रहा है. अर्लियर द रिजोल्यूशन प्लान जो सबमिट होता था IRP को, वहां पे 66% ऑफ द क्रेडिटर्स शुड असेंट टू द रिजोल्यूशन प्लान. ठीक है, लेकिन यहां पे खाली सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स माने जाएंगे, उसमें भी 75% ऑफ द सिक्योर्ड क्रेडिटर्स शुड असेंट टू द प्लान दैट इज बीइंग अग्रीड बिटवीन द secured creditors and of course the potential buyers. ठीक है, issues क्या है, only those MSMEs which are registered as corporates are eligible. Now India has 6.63 crore, the national survey, ठीक है, shows that there are 6.63 crore MSMEs in India, out of which only 26.42 lakh are registered with Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay, that means जो कॉर्पोरेट एलिजिबिलिटी का क्राइटेरिया है उसकी वजह से a very small fraction of the companies will be able to take benefit of this resolution plan. Okay, Moreover, eligibility has also been restricted only to companies. ठीक है, that is Hindu undivided family, sole proprietorship, partner proprietorship firms, limited liability partnership firms are not eligible. Understood? That means most of the businesses have been kept exempt from the scheme. Although the scheme is in the very testing mode, it is being tested basically, but still it could have been a more better plan if more number of MSMEs were made eligible for the said plan. Okay. Now that is all for the pre-pack insolvency.